Hello and welcome to South Central, a TNM podcast where we put the South at the center. I am Pooja Prasanna, stepping in for Dhanya Rajendran because she's away for a bit, but worry not, she will be back next week. But till then, because we've been on the ground, we've been in Kerala and Chennai, we're bringing this episode from Chennai office of the News Minute, not from the Bengaluru studio, as our YouTube viewers have already gathered by now. And we will be focusing specifically on the Tamil Nadu elections. We will break the format a little bit. We'll not read the headlines like we usually do and then look at two separate topics. We thought we could keep the focus completely only on Tamil Nadu elections because remember, it's less than a week that the state goes in for elections and there is a lot to unpack. And I will be joined by people who've been on the ground, talking to voters, talking to candidates, getting the pulse of the people and also putting the focus on issues that actually matter and not just all the glitz and glamour that you see on other channels. Before I start the conversation, as we keep reminding you, we are being able to go to different places and bring you ground reports and voices only because you've had our back so far. We have reminded you enough number of times that we don't take money from political parties, political leaders, or even governments or corporate sponsors. We rely only on your support. So don't let us down. Last couple of weeks for you to support us through our election Sena. I have with me to my left somebody who is a familiar face already now on South Central, R.K. Radhakrishnan. He's a senior associate editor at the Frontline, an award-winning political journalist. He's an academic and he's done extensive work not just in India but in Sri Lanka and Maldives as well, focusing specially on refugees. And my co-host today is our very own Azeefa Fathima. She heads our breaking news desk, a Ramnath Goenka awardee, and she focuses on court, caste and gender and reports from both Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And sitting across from me is Ramya Kannan with over 30 years of experience. Doesn't look it at all, but Chief of Bureau at The Hindu. She's also the health editor, but she's been on the ground for the last few days, visiting many constituencies. So we will get into what you found on the ground. Making his first appearance on South Central is Dr. C Lakshmanan. He's an academic and activist. He's known for his work on caste and social justice. He's a former associate professor at the Madras Institute of Development Studies, that's MIDS, and he's also the convener of Dalit Intellectual Collective in Tamil Nadu. Thank you so much and welcome all of you for this conversation. Let's jump to something that is making headlines and it's very current. As we speak, we're shooting on Thursday, 16th of April at 12:30. So this discussion will be going on in Parliament. By the time this is aired, there will be more developments. What do you make out of the timing of when they decided to bring in this delimitation bill, knowing well that Tamil Nadu reacts to it very strongly?
Yeah, I think it's sheer stupidity. When stupidity is a reason, you don't need to look further than that. I saw an article somewhere which said that, this is huge conspiracy theory that MPs from Tamil Nadu and Trinamool and all will not land up. They all have landed up in Delhi. I mean, this is typical armchair journalism. Why I say stupidity is because just before the Kerala elections, I think 6 days before the Kerala elections, they bring in the FCRA bill. It is sheer stupidity to do that because they completely lost the Christian vote because of that. They are going to lose, possibly even Rajiv Chandrasekhar is going to lose because of that. I would ascribe the same reason. These are people working in silos, and as long as there is no Hiren Joshi pulling all this together, absolutely it is going to be chaos. Bring Hiren back.
I mean, do you think is it also because BJP sort of gave up on Tamil Nadu and Kerala that it's not going to work?
No, absolutely. No, not on Kerala. They didn't give up on Kerala. They thought definitely, at least 5, 6. Manjeshwaram was winning, Palkad was winning, Nemam, and of course, Kadakkottam. Definitely 4 seats they were winning. PM's roadshow was in Tiruvalla. They had hopes on Tiruvalla as well. And for some strange reason, they gave a Rani where Sabrimala was based. To 2020. That's a completely different thing. But then the thing is that they had hopes. They had hopes on at least 5 or 6 of their candidates winning. And the Kerala media somehow has decided that BJP is the third factor. I mean, for no reason at all. This party has not won a single seat after 2016, before or after. But it's the third factor, and you will not see this. I mean, this is a very conspicuous thing. Exactly like Godi media in Delhi, they've done the same thing in Kerala, and they had hopes. Number one. Number two, Tamil Nadu, yes, I completely agree. PM was completely upset. That's why he has not done a roadshow in Chennai at all, though he spent a night here, right, at Chola. They could have run a roadshow from the airport, which is what Amit Shah did before 2024 election. From there to, I mean, it's two constituencies bisect there. They could have easily done that. There is no hope here. But Bengal, they're doing so much. They're completely making the election commission as a part of the government, making them change all kinds of people there. And I read somewhere that over 60% of the observers are from the BJP ruled states, election observers are, who are posted in Bengal. So they have huge hopes in Bengal. So I would only see this as complete stupidity and nothing else. One arm of the government not knowing what the other arm of the government is doing. There is a larger picture and conspiracy and all of that. I agree with all of that. But then the timing is complete stupidity, nothing more.
One more conspiracy that I heard was that they want ADMK to lose here so that that space is vacant for them to perhaps come and occupy. What do you generally make out of how BJP has responded to criticism over the last few weeks?
I don't think there's been any sort of, structured criticism, or response from the BJP, except for saying that, this is a stupid argument, delimitation, who said it will affect the southern states. So those kinds of arguments are not like structured arguments, right? So there is actually there are two issues here. One is women's representation and the other is delimitation. So this desire or the tendency to conflate the two, make one ride on the other, I think that is a disastrous, and it is meant to pull the wool over the eyes. That is precisely what has been happening. There is a certain issue with the delimitation and in terms of how it will affect proportional representation, particularly in the southern states. But if you ask me, how has the BJP responded? Very, very ham-handed, dismissing all concerns without a debate. Of course, a debate will be happening and is happening in the parliament, but the response that has come out has been dismissive of every criticism that has been laid on the delimitation bill itself. I'm not sure whether the BJP wants to get rid of the ADMK entirely, because it is piggybacking as of now, right? So the existence of a force that is not the DMK in Tamil Nadu is very important for the BJP. And of course, one knows that it, tried overtures to the TVK and nothing worked. So at this point of time, I don't think they want to eliminate the AIADMK. They need to ride. It's a very, it's a parasitic relationship at this point of time, because they are not bringing anything technically to the alliance. So we have, union ministers talking about how this sort of, if this government is in power, the double engine government is in power, how Tamil Nadu will get all these benefits. But, it's quite pathetic that, a central government should link the flow of federal funds to an association with the ruling party at the center. So I think it's been quite pathetic, the responses that we've had this week.
So Annamalai, I saw reacting to this because people were asking about how would they actually talk to people about this issue, because federalism is something people react very strongly in Tamil Nadu. Of course, he tried very hard to say that this is linked to the women's representation bill, and that is why they're trying to push it through, and notwithstanding the timing, they want to go through. The question is, if that is your intention, Dr. Lakshmanan, it was very simple. You could have just brought an amendment, a one-line amendment and a constitutional amendment where you don't have to tie it to delimitation. That was done deliberately to make it seem like they are pro-women. Do you think that's a strategy that will work in Tamil Nadu?
No, first of all, I want to respond to the timing of the introduction, which is very calculative, and both jointly or collectively. And as I agree with what she was saying, that BJP is planning to eliminate one by one, and now being associated with the ADMK, and they know, because they are not innocent of politics. They know if delimitation bill introduced and the impact and influences is advantage for the DMK. And they have, because always there is always undercurrent and under dealings and secret. I will beat you and I'll beat you like, and you cry like that. It is a relationship, and everyone knows that. And this timing is very, very calculative and very is going to be affect ADMK much larger. And because as of now, ADMK's prospect in the ground level, it's a very prospect, because in the beginning DMK had a advantage and overconfidence as well. But after the campaign has started, then they got the music from the people. So now, overnight, because after this introduction and this debate, the radical shift of discourse and politics campaign, it changed. And in order to federalism has been completely made mockery after this uh, coalition politics has emerged. And particularly DMK made it in a way that it never ever understood the importance of state autonomy and also the devolution of power, union, state, and concurrent. And because they could have made it when they had twice, they had a BJP and Congress, they had a alliance and they had a partner, ruling partner. They could have brought the education into the concurrent, but they didn't. They didn't, because it's an advantage for them. Because most of them, because as I want to say that earlier, before 1990 or before LPG, globalization, liberalization, privatization, politics determined the economy. Politics determined the market. Now, economy determines the market, determines the politics. So that is why even now there are partnership in the business. That's all helps, because it's not innocent of time. Timing is very calculative, and it is BJP is very shrewd enough to play politics in South.
BJP is shrewd enough, but it must be said that for DMK too, it is very convenient to have BJP in the mix, because as a foil, they stand out. They call themselves champions of Dravidian model, champions of federalism. Perhaps compared to the present day BJP, they stand out. But like Dr. Lakshmanan said, the track record doesn't reflect that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You look at, see, there was a method to the madness that they started when they started from 2014, even before that, and till around, say, recently, till around 2025. But then I see the BJP making mistakes soon after it came to power in 2024. The only thing it got right is Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish. Barring that, they literally have not done much to save their causes in anywhere else. They got one more thing right: Kailash Nathan in Pondicherry as Lieutenant Governor. So possibly BJP is coming to power again in Pondicherry, probably with the BJP's what deputy chief minister, whatever. I reckon it's going to be chief minister. So there are very few things that they have done right after 2025. Rest of it all is trying to bulldoze, going two steps in front and then trying to backtrack. You've seen that in Parliament also happen. They tried to, they wanted to literally dismiss Rajiv Gandhi again. Rahul Gandhi again from from his membership. They did it once. It went to the Supreme Court, and thankfully there was a Supreme Court which actually listened to the argument of the opposition and then allowed him back into Parliament. So again, they tried the same thing, then again backtracked. You look at even the the suspension of the members of Parliament. They were supposed to be out for at least the entire session, but then again, Om Birla goes back on what he has said. So I see this as a party or the leadership not getting its act together, trying to do, trying to basically bulldoze its way, but at the same time having doubts about its methods after some 10 years in power. I think it's only because of the dynamics within the party itself, which probably is changing a bit here and there, and the old guard is trying very, very hard to control all this damage, and at the same time trying to also govern the country. Too many other things are also happening. Look at foreign affairs, for instance. They do need to sit down and talk about that. They really don't seem to have time for that at all. But at the same time, like Jaishankar is refusing to come down to Tamil Nadu even for a campaign, Kerala for a campaign. He is forced to do all of that from Delhi. So they realize that importance, but at the same time, they are not able to hold everything together. I think it's because of all these other factors, too many moving parts, that they are not able to handle some of it.
Ramya, I keep asking DMK leaders whenever we've interviewed them. They have made this entire election into Tamil Nadu versus Delhi. Now, their primary opponent here, let's face it, and they admit it on camera, that the primary opponent is still ADMK. right? ADMK is a Dravidian party. So it is also convenient for them to push that narrative because BJP is an ally and they can make themselves seem like sons of the soil. Is that hypocritical?
It's political play, if you ask me. So even AIADMK is saying the same thing. Valarmati, who's the candidate for 1,000 Lights, ADMK candidate, yesterday was asked about TVK and the threat that Vijay might pose. And she said, எங்களுக்கு திமுக தாங்க ஆப்போசிஷன், நாங்கள் மற்றதை பற்றி யோசிக்க எங்களுக்கு நேரம் இல்லை. So the both Dravidian parties do consider each other the principal opposition to the other, of course. And it is political play to bring in the center because Mr. Stalin's campaign has rested on the whole federalism and the federal liberties aspect. So naturally he needs to bring the BJP in. It's also significant because for the first time the BJP is in an alliance where it hopes to seize power. So I think as a leader of the ruling party, he cannot ignore this argument. But I think today this play is still between the AIADMK and the DMK. So even when you bring the Vijay factor, and people are talking about the Vijay factor, but it is still how much percentage of votes will he take from ADMK, how much will he take from DMK. So these two Dravidian parties are the sun around which other planetary positions are taken. So I think it is still the AIADMK versus the DMK in Tamil Nadu. But this is part of the political rhetoric and relevant to an extent, particularly because of the way this election has played out.
I want to get into the alliances a bit more in detail in just a bit, but your reaction to that, do you think it's convenient for DMK that BJP is an ally? Because if you look at it numerically, BJP is a junior partner. And correct me, you people are on the ground more, but it seems to me that EPS is a bit more assertive this time than the previous time when they had an alliance. Maybe BJP has learnt its lesson, maybe lack of Annamalai as an office bearer, but it seems like he knows what he wants out of this alliance. So my question is it convenience for DMK to keep focusing on BJP? Of course, they say that the remote is with BJP, though ADMK is contesting on more tickets. What's your take on this?
And to add to that, no, whenever we go to the ground, there is one thought that ADMK and BJP has amalgamated in some way, that ADMK is not different than BJP. So it's better to see DMK versus BJP, right? So do you think that is also part of the political strategy that they created a narrative like that?
There is a complete a myth has been created that the BJP entering now only. BJP, see the BJP coming, BJP came long back, 1989, and Karnanidhi was the initiator of National Front and he was invited from and BJP the number from 2 to 89, a jump, quantum jump. And now they are saying that BJP, and again you had an alliance with BJP and you had a partner and you had a coalition government. And now saying that the BJP coming, see this all rhetoric, what she says is a political rhetoric. And again, and never ADMK or Jayalalitha, the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, they never had any positive in welcome or initiative for the BJP. But everything done by the DMK in Tamil Nadu for say. But that is why today they don't want to give any credit to Edappadi Palaniswamy, the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and ADMK General Secretary, because it is convenient for them to say it is a fight between Tamil Nadu and Delhi. Okay, now you understand what is the Tamil Nadu and Delhi after the introduction of this delimitation. What is the purpose of delimitation? The main objective of delimitation, existing imbalance representation of the state to be balanced, to be done, some corrective measures should be initiated. Does this bill is done it? The proposed formula? No. Uniformly, randomly giving 50% to each state Nothing imbalance. You are not correcting imbalance. You are creating more imbalance. Fine. So instead of what they should do, something new formula should have been done. They should have a larger state, medium state, and small state, and they fix some number, particular number to the each state. Then you go ahead. But if you are going to 50% increase, definitely this delimitation bill and this articulation and the campaign will help the DMK, which is opposition, so-called opposition to BJP. But I said so-called opposition to BJP, but they are all very, very convenient. Even
why you say so-called.
And again, yeah, because I am saying, because so-called means, because there is a, I said already, நான் அடிக்கிறமா நான் அடிக்கிறேன் நீ அழுகுற மாதிரி அழு. That's it. This is an underplay. Second thing is what had happened to உலகம் சுற்றும் வாலிபன் in MGR film in 70s. Same thing was in a different way. Same old wine in a new bottle. Similarly, it happened for Jananayagan. Okay. What way the BJP going to lose with stopping Jananayagam? Nothing. Then who will benefit?
So you're alleging a conspiracy that this was done deliberately.
Yeah, this is, I sought a help and they helped. Like MJR sought a help from Mrs. Gandhi, and Mrs. Gandhi rendered a help, and the film was released and successful. But unfortunately, Vijay did not sought a help from BJP, or even BJP offer a help. Vijay may be rejected also, not possible. But if Vijay accepted BJP's support, the film would have been in the screen.
Your reaction, that's a very startling allegation.
No, I'll go back to the question. Like, why is the DMK attacking the BJP more than the ADMK? It's a very simple fact of the case happens to be that the DMK has been in power for the past 5 years, so obviously it can't attack the ADMK on performance, government, etc. Their shortcomings, they have to say that X is responsible for it, which is what the BJP strategy is. Yeah, basically, X, Y, or Z is responsible for your problems, and it has nothing to do with us. The exact same thing DMK has done, saying that BJP is not giving us money, BJP is not giving that, no projects, blah blah blah, and that's why this problem is happening. So it's extremely easy to explain that away. One. Second part of it is Stalin Thodarattum, the campaign. Stalin Thodarattum, that campaign, basically it is saying that we have done so much, even with this limitations. So the first, what they tried to push was the Stalin Thodarattum campaign. They started attacking the BJP. BJP gives them a huge thing on a platter, delimitation, and now they are attacking the BJP again on that. Now, you would have seen the other Edapadi campaign, Mela Gate Solran sir. I will check with the upstairs and tell. So these are actually this actually lays out the DMK's campaign. Basically trying to picture, Edapadi as the guy who will take
who can't perform without the permission of BJP.
Yeah. And I would say that it is completely wrong, because I think that the BJP completely forgot what to do in Tamil Nadu between 24 and 26, completely forgot Tamil Nadu, then suddenly decided that Annamalai has to go. Nayanar is brought in. Nayanar tried to build the party, but then there is an Annamalai who keeps torpedoing every single thing that he does, to the extent that, 4 leaders of the party, Vanati, Tamilisai, Nayanar, Pon Radhakrishnan, against Annamalai. This has never been the case. I mean, there has been 1 or 2 leaders. Pon Radhakrishnan was there, CP was against him. So there has been circumstances like that, but it has never been the case that the 4 or 5 top leaders is against one person. So they couldn't really decide what to do. That's where the alliance is formed. Obviously, Amit Shah realizes that that's a huge problem, so it comes down 1 year ahead, forms the alliance. Then Edapadi goes to Delhi. Edapadi is actually Amit Shah's man here. Yeah, Edapadi is trusted implicitly. Now he gives the list. Amit Shah approves the list. Then they realize they've been taken for a ride. The 27 seats.
Nagendra Nayanar yesterday, it was a statement obnoxious, saying that Tamil Nadu can be Ayodhya. There's nothing wrong. During election, any sensible politician can utter such a statement. It is all deliberate. It is not innocent. It's not innocent.
Deliberate to achieve what ends, in your opinion?
In order to support the partners.
Go back to that. I said we'll get into alliances a little later, but this is a very unusual alliance you're
Yeah,
alleging.
so this is a completely during election time statement like this. What kind of sensibility it is a leader, and again there is compared to DMK and ADMK lesser now. The Edapadi Palaniswamy able to manage the party, and even last year 2021 itself, ADMK Edapadi is given a fitting reply because more than 70 constituency DMK won less than 5,000 vote. Some of this constituency was 1,000 vote and 500 even, and Vellore Duraimurugan won by 350 vote or something. And so Edapadi Palaniswamy gave a very fight-tiffing reply, and this time because they don't want to give him any this thing, so that their partner has completely in hand in glove, and they have completely tried to change.
You know, we don't put the disclaimer, views are personal only, we don't endorse. Looks like I'll have to this time. But what do you make out of this? And also, dude, you know, there is so much media focus on Vijay, and I'm deliberately trying to not go in that direction because I think disproportionate attention has been given to Vijay. But, you know, there's so much of BJP and, of course, the DMK's campaign, which is high decibel. Is EPS work? You've gone to many constituencies. So is EPS working quietly on the ground without the media spotlight on him? Is that something you see?
Yeah, definitely. I think what really stands by these two Dravidian parties is that they have a huge cadre base that is very, very well informed. So this, Mavata Sailalar will know exactly on these streets who will vote for me. So their campaign is also targeted at those who will vote and those who are standing on the edges, right? So to convince them to come and vote for them. So this has been happening across the constituencies in Chennai. We see people speaking to, families, door-to-door campaigns in a manner that is cognizant of their constituency, not a general, I'm going in the auto and, making a... So that is what you see, and that mechanism is very strong for both the AIADMK and the DMK. That's very clear in Chennai for sure, and also in the rural areas, which is one area where the TVK, though we're not going to delve into it, the TVK does not have a presence. So
you're saying it's an urban phenomenon.
That TVK, the hype and the hoopla, yes, it is predominantly an urban phenomenon.
And DMK and ADMK are targeted campaigns, you're saying?
Absolutely targeted, absolutely cognizant of the voter needs. They know who will vote for them, who will not vote for them, why it is a waste of my time to campaign here, because they are steadfastly with the AIADMK or whatever. So I think that level of campaign knowledge with the parties and data through street level data, house level data, they've built up this base over a period of time, and they've started working. So they are on the field, both the AIADMK and the... So even when the councillor is not there, one AIADMK man will land up if he's... Or a DMK man will land up if you have a problem, or if there is something, or even if you don't have a problem, they can create a problem for you and solve it. But yeah, I think their cadre base is the strength that these two parties will rely on, more so in this election, when the threat is from a completely unknown force.
And this is also what is missing with TVK, because when you go to any place, even in the rural or urban centers, they don't have the booth level force to do anything, right? Like they have no clue, like which house or which street is going to support them. Anywhere you go, randomly we ask and they'll be like, okay, we'll vote for Vijay. And the women will be like, okay, this guy is like just blabbering something, we'll go and vote for whatever party we want. So TVK, I'm curious like what they are relying on except Vijay. It's just Vijay's face.
They seem to think that's enough. And since it's inevitable.
But I think Tamil Nadu people are much more
discerning than that.
Yeah, clever and discerning than that.
What Tamil Nadu people per concern, they have been depoliticized in a larger level.
Hmm.
Depoliticized in the sense of freebies and personalities and so on, so film.
Hmm.
But in terms of Vijay, so Vijay should have done some ground work and also some kind of some minimum research. How MGR emerged? MGR did not emerge overnight. MGR emerged associated with the political party. Then he come out and also he built up a support base.
Hmm.
And then he gone to the field and fought. But Vijay overnight, because I think what his father was other day reflecting that Vijay was in the hands of some few people and they are misleading and Vijay is not allowed to talk to them, something like that. So Vijay and TVK should do something, research how the ADMK, MGR is able to capture the power.
Hmm.
And because MGR not only fan club, and because a very organized fan club with associated with the DMK in the past. But whereas TVK doesn't have that kind of a, even the fan club structure was very loose,
Hmm.
unlike MGR fan.
Now, I take this point, but you said when you said Tamil Nadu voters have been depoliticized, you mentioned freebies, but there is enough evidence to show that welfare schemes that are targeted, I'm not saying all welfare schemes, that are targeted and carried forward from one government to the other, has indeed shown great results, be it in terms of more women in the workforce or education level, better HDI.
This is unfortunate that even in the academia, because it's in Tamil Nadu academia, social science is pathetic. I don't want to
Across India, sir. What is this?
entire India, but Tamil Nadu is much more pathetic because I agree that there is a qualitative difference between the welfare and the unsolicited freebie. Fine. So what?
I said targeted welfare measures.
Yeah, targeted welfare measure is a constitutional right. It is an entitlement. So what I will, for instance, what a student require in a college or in a school, proper classroom, and according to the ratio, teacher-student ratio, and trained teachers, and proper laboratory, library, classroom, and most importantly, restroom. If at all the co-education or a girls' school. But those things are completely left out. Just to visit Kaidamillat Women's College and Presidency College in Chennai, and we'll know what kind of infrastructure facilities available to them. So that is why the welfare and the freebie is completely two different. That too, unsolicited freebie, for me, according to me, it is a crime. It is a political crime. And these are the issues, these are the aspects which depoliticize the masses. Because masses are now in the market economy, market-centric economy, they are left out and they are running for a day-to-day existence. In such a level, that is what this 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, this is a weakness they are exploiting.
But I think that is across country right now, in BJP. I know, Ramya, you have to leave. Ramya has to go back on the field. So as a woman and somebody who's gone on the ground, do you see that women particularly feel that these targeted schemes, even a DBT, for example, does make their life better? I take his point that basics and that's important. But a laptop to a woman in a rural area where she can't go to college, and if she can, do distance education, that does change lives, does it not?
Yeah, it does. My position is that I'm not against all freebies. Certain freebies do come in very handy, particularly the Magalir Urimai Thittam, that Togai. That amount comes in handy for a woman in a rural area who otherwise, even to buy a crocin or a sanitary napkin, has to wait behind her husband or her son or her brother. So this has given them that lassitude to operate as an independent financial entity. The laptop scheme you mentioned, I think it's good, but then, this is giving laptops across the state. I know friends whose children have received laptops and they're wondering what to do with it because they have a Mac at home. So this is the kind of, targeted beneficiaries is one thing, and just spreading the spoils around, that's completely different. I think, a targeted campaign which will benefit economically weaker sections and marginalized people, I think they are of significance for any government, for a welfare state particularly. But the generous spreading around of, freebies, I don't think that's a great idea. But there are schemes that are of use to the people, particularly a segment of the people. Today, when we go to the field, we know, so we ask, என்ன அந்த மகளிர் உரிமை திட்டம் வந்து உங்களுக்கு உதவியா இருக்கா? அது இருக்குங்க. But as the prices go up, விலைவாசி ஏற நான் என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? Gas விலை ஏறிடுச்சு, electricity, current விலை ஏறிடுச்சு. How am I supposed to cope? So that is also there. It's within a spectrum that we should see this, this particular freebie thing itself.
See, any freebie is completely useful because nothing will be useless. So, but whether the people are demanded or asked for it, but without, that is why I call it unsolicited freebie. Because unsolicited freebie is an instrument to use, depoliticize the politics. Because what require people to, as the electricity, control of electricity bill, water charges, and tax for property, house, and so on and so forth, and also schools and college fees, and also bus fare. You have given some bus fare, unlike in Andhra Pradesh, women can travel anywhere in the state. But in Tamil Nadu, only in that pink color bus, which comes 1 hour once, and that is only meant for a free bus. So this is all just for making people to be full. So that is why, unless until what people are require, demand is more important, and also what is the constitutional provisions. Provide a free and fair and quality education to all, and make a school because we have denied entry of that central government school, no? PMC, and also another one, Navodaya. We have prevented Navodaya, but now in order to compensate Navodaya, recently Tamil Nadu government started around 39 model schools, which spent so much of money and left out other government schools completely. And also, what is the condition of the college guest lecturers? What is the condition of the sanitation worker? And what is the condition of working and the staff nurse and midwife in the hospitals? And so these are the fundamental rights, and these are the provisions of the Constitution to provide a decent employment, equal pay for equal wage, equal work. But that doesn't exist. And who asked for a freebie? So this is depoliticizing the politics. That is whether whichever political party, whether central government and a national party or regional party, is a crime.
I agree with the basics part, but I slightly differ when you said that only when it is solicited. For example, in Karnataka, which it doesn't have a history of welfare schemes as much as Tamil Nadu or even Kerala, people didn't ask for free bus travel. Women didn't ask for it. But I know for a fact that it has changed their lives, because mobility is very important for women. And if you can save 3,000 rupees a month on bus fare, they're putting that money. And when you put cash in women's hands, that goes into better education for their children, more mobility for them, and translates into HDI, better HDI over time. So that's, of course, there were arguments about how the transport system is going into losses, but that's not their job. The job of public transport is not to earn profit. It is to make sure there is better connectivity, safe connectivity. But I said we'll come back to alliances.
Yeah.
So there's so much being spoken about BJP and AIDMK alliance, that in comparison to them, the DMK-led alliance is being called secular and progressive. Keeping them aside, objectively, are they truly secular and progressive?
I don't think any political party in India is secular or progressive for that matter. I'm including everybody, including CPM-ML. Now, having said that, I have to also say that if the Congress is not in the DMK's corner for this election, they would have had a very, very hard time convincing even the Muslims to vote for them. Muslims would anyway vote for the DMK, but even with that, it would be very difficult because how many Muslim candidates has DMK fielded? How many Muslim candidates is Congress fielded? And they are not talking about any of these issues in Parliament, outside of Parliament. And many of these issues, even when they get raised, even when Umar Khalid, for instance, how many people have raised it in Parliament? And are they doing it in a consistent basis? Yes, for the record, if you look at it, DMK would have raised it, Congress would have raised it, there would have been some 5 tweets on that, and that is the end of it. But I believe that, you look at the ADMK's, or rather the BJP's NDA in Tamil Nadu, the power equation is very clear. There is a Narendra Modi, there is an Amit Shah, and very, very low below, there is an Edappadi Palaniswamy, who is being listened to by the BJP leadership at this point. The leadership ends there, everything ends there for that alliance. Anbumani, yes, somewhere distant. GK Vasan, yes, somewhere distant. They have access, but then they are not listened to at all. You look at this part, Congress and DMK are in a relationship where DMK has the upper hand right now. A huge fracas over between, I have written about it repeatedly in Frontline, between Rahul Gandhi and MK Stalin. They were not on talking terms thanks to delimitation. That is gone now. Rahul, to the extent that he came to Pondicherry, did not come to Tamil Nadu. But now he's coming. I learned yesterday that he was coming on 19, 20, 21. Today, MK Stalin has spoken to him. And this was the whole thing, this huge egos that Rahul somehow seems to have, which led to the Congress debacle in Bihar. That could have happened here. Thanks to Narendra Modi's delimitation, now they've become friends again.
That relationship and alliance that he mentioned.
Yeah, the point here is that finally MK Stalin makes the call, which a lot of the DMK leaders have been telling MK Stalin. Congress leaders have been telling MK Stalin to make the call in January, February, whenever. It didn't happen at all. Finally, it has happened. They are on the same side. MKS has asked Rahul Gandhi to take the leadership on the delimitation, fighting against delimitation and all of that. So now they are all happy, one big happy family. They're on the same page. They're coming here and they're having the meeting and all of that, joint rallies, all that will happen. So the gelling, so to say, is back, but I'm not sure if the votes still hold. The business point of it, let me just say, you go anywhere, all the businessmen are together at the end of the day. The political parties don't matter. I don't know where business ends and where politics begins. Jagat Rashagan has this big hotel in Pondicherry, Accord Hotel, DMK guy, DMK MP, much rated guy, has business interests in Sri Lanka, all of that. Who is one of the main clients of Accord? BJP leaders. I stayed there to meet the BJP leaders. It's like that. This goes all the way across the political spectrum. ADMK, DMK guys being in business together, all that is there. But when it comes to politics, I think there is some differences. There's some differentiation when it comes to politics. A DMK guy at the end of the day will never ever vote for an ADMK symbol at all. And there are equally people in the ADMK who will never ever vote for the DMK at all. And they will vote even for a Vijay or for somebody else instead of voting for the. They may not vote for the BJP, but they will vote for somebody else, a third factor. Vijay was that factor for any of them, right? Vijay was there for one point of time. Then there was now there is Vijay. So all of them. But the business, the kind of camaraderie that we see in business in Pondicherry. Where people can float from one political party to another without any problem at all, vote for each other. That doesn't exist in Tamil Nadu, though.
I slightly differ with what he said in terms of ADMK alliance. That it was very calculative built image that Modi, Amit Shah, and the bottom EPS, Edappadi Palaniswamy. No, if that is the case. And Congress, how much seat Congress gained from the DMK? 29?
28.
And same 27.
One
One left. So Edappadi Palaniswamy is more control. Maybe he may not show his way in which, like a big brother attitude by the DMK, but Edapadi by nature is come from the ground.
But I think the governance last time when they were in alliance, once the government is formed, I think that is where BJP's influence will start coming in. Maybe they're okay with getting fewer tickets because that makes sense for.
Despite Edapadi is brought 7.5% for government schools children for.
No, but you saw anti-CA protests how they treated under EPS's governance. That was clearly under BJP's dictate.
But he was also brought some of the most important legislation and progressive things. But what I'm saying that it's not that Edapadi is completely surrendered and he was a bottom of the alliance. No, Edapadi in Tamil Nadu, because we are talking about Tamil Nadu politics. We are not talking about national. So then Tamil Nadu, Edapadi is a control of the alliance, not Amit Shah or not a Modi.
Maybe, Ramya, I want you to come in. Do you think that will last if they come to power? Because even when I was interviewing both sides, AIDMK people are very clear. They say there is a lot of ideological difference between us and BJP. Tamil says, Soundararajan said there is no difference. We are all in the same auto. We are all together. So BJP latches onto AIDMK till elections are over. Once, if they come to power, everything else will be dictated from Delhi. Will EPS be able to stand up to Modi or Shah?
Yeah, so the whole arrangement is predicated on the fact that if they were to come to power, then the BJP will have a heavy hand in Tamil Nadu. So look at what is happening in Andhra, for instance. Mr. Naidu, Chandrababu Naidu was the first to say, have more children. Today, where is his opposition to the Delimitation Commission? Where is his opposition to the Delimitation Bill? So there is a, willing suspension of disbelief in the central government, because that is what, repeatedly when Mr. Goel is here, Piyush Goel is here, or other ministers are here, they say it will be easier to work with a government that understands us versus the DMK, which is constantly fighting on everything. So, like I said before, the a relationship shouldn't predicate the flow of federal funds. That should happen by itself. But I certainly feel that the BJP is in this for the larger game. They want that control of Tamil Nadu. Where is Mr. EPS? So, ideologically, the AIADMK and the DMK have a certain path. They are pro-Tamil, they are anti-NEET actually, and certain other issues, they travel together. But in this case, what has been the AIADMK reaction to Tamil, which Mr. Stalin has really, as part of NEP as the third language, bringing him.
They insist on record that we stand by the two-language policy. But my worry is if they're pushed.
No, they have not even pushed now, Pooja. I'm saying they're not even pushed. It is still at a stage where, like he said, Mr. Edapadi has an upper hand in Tamil Nadu. They are not pushed. So imagine once they come to power, the kind of pressure that will come to weigh in on Edapadi. I think it will definitely change relationships.
DMK also had such a pressure.
True. It's just that Congress is in a weaker position presently. So DMK, I mean, they also have a very symbiotic relationship in the sense that in Tamil Nadu, DMK needs Congress, like you said, to make sure the Muslim vote stays with the alliance. Nationally speaking, Congress needs DMK's MPs to get any kind of thing done in Parliament. Even to stand around Rahul Gandhi, they need those numbers, right? So theirs is probably clearer. But my question is, if AIDMK had the numbers today, do you think they could have defied BJP and voted against delimitation bills that are there?
No, for some strange reason, AIDMK doesn't seem to understand the importance of the larger national picture at all. Unlike Jayalalitha, for instance, MGR didn't understand it also. He was all the way with Indira Gandhi for a very long period of time. Similarly, when the CAA vote came, for instance, Open Islam's son was a member of parliament. He had voted in favor of the CAA. So those things, somehow the larger picture either does not, the ADMK is unwilling to look at the larger picture. I would not say that there are, I'm 100% certain that there are enough and more people within the ADMK who know what this is and how it will affect the party and its prospects with the minorities. For this election also, it appears that just after 2024, Edappadi Palaniswamy had gone to an SDPI conference, Muslim party, and made the promise that he will never ever ally with the BJP, and then he goes and allies with the BJP.
Why is that?
So I think Edappadi at some point of time realized that it's difficult to deal with Vijay. He wanted a strong ally who will move from the DMK. As of January 2026, nobody was moving. But after DMK started pushing them so hard, people, parties wanted to move, but there was no position to move. Where will you move to? You can move to Vijay, obviously, but then the problem is that, Vijay is not a political party. He's a one-man, show, which is happening across, like Jananayagan. That's all. For him, even Jananayagan is a show. Even democracy is a show for him. So it's impossible to actually go to a guy like that. Vijaykanth, they would have gone. If Vijaykanth was available, they would have definitely gone. So there was no option, and they all had to stay back. Everybody realized that, but then it was too late, right? April of 2025, the alliance was stuck and done and dusted. So Edappadi had made the mistake of doing that only because I believe he thought that otherwise he'll be left in the lurch. Because he knew that, see, one thing we have to...
For an ally, you're saying.
Yeah, see, basic thing is that Edappadi is a guy who actually came down from nothing. From a T-boy to... He is the actual T-boy, not the man claiming in Delhi. The T-boy in ADMK office, T-boy for Sengote. That's the guy who came up. He understands politics in a way a lot of us can't even relate to, and a lot of politicians themselves, including Udayanidhi and Vijay, can't relate to at all. So that man realized that there is no other way. He didn't have an option long back, long before we all realized that he doesn't have an option. That's why he went to the BJP, because at least protection, at least money, at least transport of money and distribution, all
Protection
of that can
from
take.
central agencies.
Oh yeah, central agencies. Otherwise, Vijay Bhaskar, he can be arrested any single day, any day.
Despite EPS humble background, he is able to control and make a ADMK is a reliable, and people are relying on ADMK today because of Edappadi. Despite his whatever humble background he come from, but he knows a bit net and bolt of Tamil politics, Tamil Nadu politics. So he knows that how to play politics. So that is what, even if he was going for zigzag. But in politics, you cannot always be straightforward. And it is also done by a DMK in the past. Because the DMK, for example, DMK was the one responsible for bringing the special economic zone, and which is passed within 5 minutes without any proper discussion. And the salient features of economic zone, even the President of India cannot enter without permission of the MD of the zone. And the entire 10 years of tax holidays, your manpower, your resources and natural resources, everything, and 10 years tax holiday. And the best example is Nokia. So where is the federalism, where is the power, and all these things comes from? Because both are the same, sailing on the same boat. They are putting on a brave face. Edappadi EPS are putting on a very humble face. That's the difference.
Now, I often say that Congress, when they are in power, when they're in opposition, they behave very differently. The Congress of today needs to embrace things like federalism, democracy, secularism, and all of that. BJP once spoke about it. Now they are in, it's convenient. I want to wrap up by talking about what he started off with, which is delimitation. And slightly focus on how on the ground voters in Tamil Nadu respond to delimitation. Azeefa, if I can start with you, because you've gone to southern part of Tamil Nadu and in rural areas. Is it something special about the state that people understand how federalism can impact their lives, either for better or for worse? And do you think delimitation will have that resonance?
I think people do understand bits and parts of it, but again the more practical aspects of it is not yet clear, right? Like how it will affect. Like what we know so far is that our representation is going to go down, and it will impact us adversely because of the whole seat share and everything. That is something the discussion has started much before, when the women's reservation bill came itself. And right now, with the elections coming closer, the fear is much more. Like if ADMK BJP comes to power again here, that's why I said the whole amalgamation thing, right? Because people see ADMK and BJP as a single unit. It's like if they come to power, then it's it's not a no show. So I believe that in some way that the party should also communicate effectively on how it is going to impact, right? We keep talking in abstract terms like this numbers, this percentage and everything, but we are not yet clear on how it is going to affect the people, even because on some element BJP party is clearly talking about whatever they are talking, right? Because they are saying that the map was lastly drawn in 2008 or something, and if we use that map to give women's reservation, what if I give a smaller area to women? Isn't that a disservice to them? So we don't see a counter for that yet, right, from the DMK or ADMK side. So I think that is something that we should also be doing.
Yeah, I think the counter has been that you don't need to tie it to delimitation. There are multiple levels of counter. Also, if that had to be done, you could have finished census by now. 2021, there was COVID, but after that, we've had multiple elections, right? So, what is the excuse you're giving? We could have had a conversation based on data. Now, how have you arrived at 850? We don't know. You're working backwards now, then you have decided 850 MPs, and then you'll figure out how to divide them into constituencies. So there are a lot of unanswered questions, and also, like I started off saying, you didn't have to make this, tied down to women's reservation. Could have been kept separate from delimitation. But in 2019, I remember very starkly, and even in rural Coimbatore, people were talking about how money is going to UP, Gujarat, and other states that Tamil Nadu gives. I don't see this happening in too many states, even in the southern part of India. Is this something that parties have throughout cultivated for people to understand? Do people understand these things?
I think the first time it came up itself was because Jayalalitha raised it at one point of time, but then that didn't become this huge, mass movement kind of thing where ADMK men went and told you, Namaka Sanga Bodhu. That time it didn't happen. That happened in 2021, ahead of 2021 elections, where Stalin did this massive thing of trying to reach out to the people to say that our money is going there, we are not getting any money back. So that, and then you see constantly that has been a theme. Every second, third month, the DMK will come up with this exact same thing. Tangathanar, so the finance minister will talk about it. Then you have other ministers talking about it. The health minister will talk about it. We did not get the scheme. We did not get the scheme because of this. But then we pay so amount of taxes. And I think the most effective person has been PTR Palnivel-Rajan when it comes to an English audience completely. So once that English audience catches hold of it, then there is a discussion in the state itself, because obviously a lot of these elites are the ones who engage in conversations, at least in the media and other places. So that happened. But that kind of conversation has not happened in delimitation, because people are still wondering, sorry, they understand, Namma kaas inge varala. My money did not come here. But this thing of, we'll have only, 50 MPs instead of, say, 60 MPs, UP will have 80 MPs, they'll have 120 or 140 MPs. That thing, how will you convert into a consumable fact to an ordinary voter and say, this is how you will get affected? I don't think the DMK has touched upon that at all. Of course, today Stalin has burnt this thing and then black flag and all of that. All that is good politics, but then it hasn't translated to the ground. Somebody will probably figure out how to get it onto the ground.
Yeah, that communication,
I think I'm completely with RK on this. There's absolutely been, there's not been time to communicate this. And also the need for someone to sit down and break it down for the audience in a manner that yen kaasu vanda UP porudhu, my money is going to UP. That kind of communication has not happened. They've not had the time, perhaps. They've focused on their own schemes, because a ruling government has that privilege or ability to burden, whichever it is. It might work against them also. So they are focused on their schemes, and that, therefore, like RK, I don't think delimitation is an issue on the ground. It might be, depending on how, of course, today Mr. Stalin has, called for raising of black flags and all that. But it depends on how much of their time, energy and effort they will devote to delimitation when an election is literally a week away.
Yeah, is this too short a time to come up with a strategy, design a communication method for that, and convince the voter? So do you think this will be something people of Tamil Nadu will vote on?
Because this is a very emotive issue. Though they may not have a very detailed understanding of the delimitation, but it is a very emotive issue, and the DMK is capturing that emotion, because saying that we will Bihar and UP and North India, because North and South, because South India will be deprived of MPs, number of MPs, and so on and so forth. That will be carried away by the people. And the other details are rest. And second thing is, even a DMK people nowadays, they don't understand what is federalism. Okay, and how the financial commission is working. And so the day they introduced this GST should have been discussed and debated much more detailed than implemented. But it's not happened. It's all happened because nowadays the quality of debate in the parliament, quality of debate in the assemblies are completely pathetic. Any bills and any important essential amendments are not debated and discussed in detail. So the political quality, leadership quality, and the quality of debate in the parliament and the assemblies are completely gone.
So, but DMK says on record that they even in the GST council meetings or when the finance commission comes down to take opinion, they put across their point. It's just that neither the finance commission nor the Union Ministry of Finance takes any opinion into consideration. They bulldoze what they want is the accusation. We are not there in those meetings, so we are not privy to it.
But that is not now the electoral campaign. DMK is not making as an electoral issue now, because it's conveniently because they know where they get capture the vote. Because the emotive issues are the this kind of the delimitation one. And second thing, I want to respond to the secular question which you asked. Because secularism in India is completely different from what the Western notion of secularism. And secularism in India is not a separation of religion and politics. It is a principal distance, as Professor Bhargava used to say. The principal distance from religion and politics, this is elastic. So whenever is required, this elastic come together. So in order to address the larger welfare and larger benefit of the masses, the secular. But unfortunately in India, what happens, secularism means only religion. They don't talk about intra-religious dominance, intra-religious discrimination. What I mean to say, caste. Secularism debate never caste come to a play, because caste determines everything in the politics today. Whether the Tamil Nadu politics or national level politics, caste is determining factor, the basic unit of analysis. But the secular scholar, so-called secularist scholar, they never ever engaged caste into, after Rajani Kothari or some very few people now engage with the caste question. But Tamil Nadu is the most famous and notorious for the caste politics.
Yeah, even when caste is spoken about, it is seen as a electoral arithmetic. How can we appease this caste and bring them back to the fold? I want to just get, while I'm wrapping up, one factor you think is going to decide the elections this time. What do you think it is?
I think it's the way the debate is going. I think it is to ensure that people are convinced by a particular ideology, which is the same for every election. But I can tell you about one fact that will not influence entirely the course of this election, and that is the role of the TVK. It's now being believed that it will influence the entire course of election, and it will sort of, garner some percentage of votes. But I think that will not be the central point of this election.
Azeefa, what do you think?
I think it's the fact that DMK should be a bit more mindful of what they're doing and how they're doing it. Because of TVK, I'm not saying that they're going to change anything, but there is a third factor, or there is an alternative with something that will make DMK work more. So I believe that is something that will impact.
No, till a day for today it was Vijay. But then after, Modi just handed over the election to DMK on a platter, and I think that the campaign is has taken off. I mean, for the first time, Stalin does a video before he even responds on Twitter and other places. There is no press release. First, the video came, then a second video came, and today is this huge show of black shirt and all of that. So I think Modi just gave DMK the election.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the deciding factor will be this.
I just want to say that this election, the important point to decide is governance last 5 years how the DMK's governance was.
It's a referendum on DMK's.
And second thing is law and order situation in the ground and the security of the people, particularly women and Dalits, the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. And these are the facts which are going to influence and impact in a large way. That is why, and also the price of essential commodity, and also the tax, the where people suffer. Some of these are very essential and basic, which going to affect. That is why DMK candidate was chased out from not in allowing them to campaign in their own area, locality. Some of them. This is a fundamental. That is why they realized late. But some, unfortunately or fortunately, they given us how the delimitation.
Yeah. While what you're saying should be what elections are fought on, I feel like eventually it will be this Tamil Nadu versus Delhi sentiment, even if they don't understand the details of delimitation.
People are watching. People are not, they might be silent. The silent may come out when they're polling.
Okay. We'll
That's
know.
how people talk, no, through their votes. So we should know soon, not too far away.
Yeah, less than a week from now. Let's have our final list of recommendations for the week. Anything you've been watching, reading?
Two books actually, since we've been talking about the Women's Reservation Bill. One is A Woman of No Consequence by Kalpana Karnakaran. It's a throwback to her grandmother. I mean, it's a history of women in her family. Very interesting. And the second one is by a friend of mine. She studied with me, Deepa Anapara, The Last of Earth. And this is again an exploration by a woman to find herself. She travels, a white woman who comes to India and tries to find herself. So these are my two recommendations, both women, both on women as well.
Dr. Lakshmanan, your recommendation?
One is V. Geeta's book on very seminal work on the socialist question in India, Babasaheb Ambedkar and the socialist question in India. And this is a very phenomenal book, and she has put Babasaheb Ambedkar in a much more theoretically very sound ground, and also how Babasaheb Ambedkar is addressing the graded inequality, unlike binary haves and have-nots, but Babasaheb Ambedkar addressing the society graded inequality and offering certain concrete solution to address. So we know the phenomenal work by V. Geeta's the Babasaheb Ambedkar Socialist Question in India. And the second book I suggest, so it is a bit old, but Anand Teltumlet, Persistence of Caste, the second title, but original title Kayarlanji, Strange and Bitter Crop. That was a classic work of analysis of political economy of last 70 years in India.
Interesting recommendations. Azeefa?
It's this book called The Minds of Billy Milligan by Daniel Case. It's about this person called Billy Milligan who becomes the first person who pled not guilty on account of insanity, and he was found not guilty. He has this 24 multiple personalities within him, and the whole story, it's excellent. Yeah.
You have a full range today.
I have a lot of recommendations. First will be Manu's. This is a Manu who's writing a book for the first time. Manuraj Shanmugasundaram's book, The People's Sanctum. It's about the temple entry movement and from the time of Periyar and what happened and how it happened and what the DMK's role was. DMK Manu is also the DMK spokesperson. This is not Manu Joseph. This is Manuraj Shanmugasundaram. A book comes out in May. I am plugging my own book, which might come out later this year. I have just submitted it to Bloomsbury. It's about the DMK and what the DMK has done to remain as a regional political force for 75 years. There is no parallel to that. Political parties have faded away within that time. It's called The Party as a Family. My third recommendation will be my own documentary, Faceless People, which will get to the festivals this year. It's about Sri Lankan Tamil refugees in India and what's happened to them over the years. It's actually something close to my heart. I did my PhD on refugees. and this the idea is to try and push for a solution to the 89,830 people, refugees who are living in India at this point of time. Thank you.
You have a wonderful range, but mine is not so fascinating. I picked up R. Kannan's The DMK Years just before I came. I haven't had time to watch or read anything else. Just been reading that. I want to but plug all the work we have done here at the News Minute, videos and text stories. Also read RK's very, very detailed pieces on Frontline. You've been doing some wonderful videos with no frills. I loved how it's like no nonsense, matter of factly.
Yeah.
So do consume, go watch, because we all have put in a lot of work, 40, 44 degrees, we've all been on the field. So do be kind to us and generous to us. That's it for this week. We'll come back to normal programming next week. Dhanya will hopefully be back and I can be a co-host and kind of relax a little bit. And also elections will be over, at least the polling will be over. So here's me signing off from our Chennai studio. We will be back in Bangalore. Before I leave, I want to thank Bhuvan Malik, our producer, Megha Mukundan, who's assisting him this week, Vignesh and Nitish, who are also helping us put together this last minute makeshift thing, Sukanya Shaji and Yana Choksi. Most importantly, thank you all for watching. A reminder to keep us going by contributing to our election fund.